Let's take a look at how I do water changes on the 220 gallon Predator half tank. This is Paul, the Inventory King. What is going on, YouTube? Doing work on a big tank like a 220 gallon tank could take a long time. We all know buckets is out of the question. A Python gets the job done. It does a really good job, and I've used it before. But I want speed. I want something that's going to help the maintenance go faster. So let's take a look at what I do to make my job on this big tank nice and easy. So I keep the light up there, and I got the hood propped up like so. So the next thing is going to be, how do I drain the water? So I built this PVC, it's like an overflow. Big, huge shout out to IFG. Him and I were talking about this, and I decided to make one. And a huge shout out to him for the idea on this. So I'm gonna go ahead now and put this in the tank. So as you can see, it'll drain down to here, which is, I'd say 75%, maybe 80%. I usually do big water changes. That's what I've always done, and the fish have been fine. What I gotta do next is hook up the braided hose to the PVC overflow. I guess you could call it an overflow, even though it's really not. Okay. Okay, we are nice and tight. What I use is this half horsepower water pump. So this is a transfer pump. This is an external pump. One of the reasons why I really like the external pump is because it's outside the tank, obviously, and you're not going to get water everywhere. I used to have one that was an internal that submerged into the water. Worked great, but man, pulling it out was a mess. It was really a mess. So I'll pick this up off of Amazon, I believe. And what I ended up doing was I got quick connects just to make it easy. Again, speed, fast, nice and easy. The only thing about this is when it sits for a while, the motor right here kind of seizes up. So you got to just hit it to loosen it up, and then you're good to go. Okay, so what you have to do here is you connect the braided hose that goes from the tank to the pump on this bottom side. So this is where the water gets pulled out, and this is where the water goes. I got my cheap hose here. This just goes into the sink, which is right outside the room. So now I'm gonna go ahead and put that in the sink, and then we're gonna go on to the next step. We're all set, ready to go. What we need to do now is turn everything off. One of the coolest things about my setup is I got a panel right here, and then I got the circuit breaker box. All I need to do, reach on over, flip those suckers, and you could hear everything's off. So what I'll do next is I'll go ahead and shut all the valves, because I don't want water to drain out of the hoses. It's just much easier to get these pumps going when you have water in the hoses. I mean, obviously some of it may come out, but this works really well. So we're good to go. Power is off. Filters are ready to go. So now it's going to be as easy as turning this sucker on. The only thing about this pump is it is not self-priming. It would be awesome if it was. So that is what made me design this like so. This little elbow that comes off the arm here is to get water into the lines and primed. So go ahead here. And again, the whole goal here is to fill the line up with water so that it's primed and ready to go. And I could see here that it is getting a little bit closer because it goes to all the way to the sink and everything. Oops. Okay, the lines are full of water. So now obviously we're going to go ahead and shut this, and then we're going to open this and plug it in. I already hit the motor so that it wouldn't seize up on us. So I'm going to go ahead and get it plugged in. What's awesome is you can see how much water this thing moves. Makes it awesome. So everything is set. Water obviously is coming through here and pulls out of here, comes up and goes. So again, if I couldn't prime it, this would be a very tough task. Here it is. Pretty quiet machine. Half horsepower, so you know it's going to move water. Made in China. And so again, nothing special, but again, it gets the job done, and that is what matters most. So now it's just about letting the tank drain. What I like to do is let it drain, and with the water being stagnant like so, check the Christy Eye and the Buco out here. People are freaking out. But so what I like to do is let it be stagnant, and with the fish swimming around and everything, it tends to help kick up some of the detritus out of, you know, all the areas where you got your water circulation and where it piles up the detritus. So I let it drain, and then I fill it up, and between filling it up and the fish moving, it gets all worked up. Then I clean the sand bed and go from there. As you can see, we are drained to the point where I want to be. It's right at the T-pipe, and it took roughly around 15 minutes to drain to this point. So 75% in 15 minutes, that ain't bad. You're definitely not going to pull that much water out with a Python. We got the fresh water coming in now to the tank, and what I like to do is I have it up on the background so that it's dispersing it and really breaking up the surface of the water, because, you know, there was no oxygen in the water for a while. I mean, there is, but I like to break the surface when I'm filling up the tank. So we're going to wait for it to fill up now. This is the perfect time to go ahead and clean the inside now, the inside of the tank. With my tank being acrylic, I use microfiber cloths because it scratches really easy. So again, if you have an acrylic tank, use microfiber cloths. The acrylic doesn't build any green or brown algae, but it does have like a white film on it that comes from time to time. So this is the perfect time to clean it because I need to. What I like to do now is clean the sand. Again, I like to do it at this point because it helps kick up extra detritus naturally, so you're not doing too much. Okay, the aquarium is all full. What I like to do, which I didn't show earlier, was unplug everything and then plug in the filters last. So we have the heaters, we have a power strip, and then we got the filters here. So what I do is I plug one in at a time to let it purge out. So you'll see what I mean next. Okay, so I like to turn my sun on first. We're gonna go ahead and go ahead and get this sucker plugged in. Okay, so now that the sun is on, I open all the valves for the FX6s, but the thing is, I only plug in one at a time. Because these purge, I like to make sure that it fills up, purges, then I plug the next one in so that they're not going on and off at the same time.
There is definitely nothing like a nice, beautiful, clean aquarium. So this tank needed some good cleaning. Needed to clean the acrylic on the inside, and also had to, vacuum the sand on this one, and yeah, just give it a nice clean. Um, you can see the fish are doing well. Still settling in after a water change. A lot of times it takes the fish a little bit of time to get fully set back in after, a fresh water change. But yeah, there is nothing like a fresh, clean aquarium. You just can't beat it. Look how clear it is.
So a little disclaimer, when you are cleaning the sand in your aquarium, be aware that sometimes gas pockets can be trapped inside the sand, which can release and can cause issues in the tank. So just be aware and proceed at your own caution as far as cleaning your sand. So that's how I clean the 220-gallon tank. It's all about speed. It's all about being able to get it done fast. It took about 15 minutes, give or take, to drain the tank with the pump. Filling up obviously a lot longer, but again, it's all about making it faster, more enjoyable, because a job like this, the 220-gallon, takes a long time, a lot of work. So any way I can speed it up, I can. So thanks for watching. Please comment down below, like, share, subscribe, and stay tanked.